Okay, we are live now. Chat, can you hear me? So I'll be bringing the co-founders of Octave DBL Systems Limited on board in just a minute. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everyone? What's up, wonderful people? What's up, beautiful people? Charlie, you're live now. And I have the two co-founders of DBL Systems Limited on board. Yes, so today it's all about knowing why we should code in 2021. Yeah, 2021. Why should we code? Chat, please bring up questions so we can answer them as we are doing this live. Okay, let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get started, guys. Okay, so why should we learn coding in 2021? Well, my answer is no one should learn coding in 2021. It's of no use. So if you think you have a better reason why you should learn coding in 2021, then you can just stay for this video. Okay. All right. So shout outs to Kofi Richardson for this wonderful thumbnails and to Macros Bites. Charlie, thanks a lot, guys. So I'll be bringing up this series of interviews live on every Sunday. Yes, so on next Sunday, I'm bringing Hack on the topic, why does penetration testing pay a lot in the tech industry? That'll be our next topic. Okay, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. Richfield here, and I'm a penetration tester, student of Coventry University, content creator on this channel. So if you know you haven't subscribed yet, please click on the subscribe button and on the notification bell as well. All right, so I'll give this opportunity to Mr. Justin to introduce himself and tell us about himself and his experience in this industry. And after that, Damilola will take it from there. Okay.
All right, so thank you very much, Richfield, for this invitation. I really appreciate it. My name is Justin Amehunke. I'm one of the co-founders of Octave DBL Systems Limited, a software company. I'm also a final year student in a software engineering student at Coventry University. Yeah, so I've been coding since 2017 when I joined university. So yeah, so for now, I'll just say that for now. So just leave the floor to Benson to also introduce himself.
Uh, okay, thank you, Richfield, for having me on board as well. My name is Damilola Randolph. I'm a Nigerian. I'm also one of the co-founders of Octave DBL Systems. I'm a final year student. I'm a final year computer science student in GTUC, and I'm a software developer. Yeah, so that's basically it for me. Please, Richfield, you
Yeah,
can take the
thank you
floor.
very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Justin and Mr. Damilola. Okay, so our first question for the day is, how would you define coding or programming in your own terms? How would you define coding in your own terms?
Well, I would. Can I take over? Can I start? All right. So I would say
So
that
I think
coding.
Justin can start for us.
Yeah. So basically, coding is just the implementation of ideas. So coding has to do with problem solving and then the implementation of ideas.
Justin, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, okay. As for me,
Okay, okay. Implementation of ideas.
yeah,
Damilola.
yes, I would say coding. I would think of coding as a majorly problem solving, solving a problem or a task at hand. That's when you use coding to do. Just problem solving. That's it.
Okay, so I don't think I heard Benson, but I'll just continue with Mr. Justin. So, my next question is, so can you tell us about how you started coding, your entire coding journey? Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so Richfield, a little bit of clarification before we move on. I just want to say that Octave DBL Systems is not just Benson and I. So we are a group of 5 people in the company. So we also have other 3 parties that are also part of Octave Systems. So and they also have their various roles and their various fields. So I just want to clarify that to our viewers before we continue. Um, yeah. So coming back to your question, um,
Well, I don't know if Justin can hear me, but
yeah, I
I
can hear
don't
you
think
clearly.
we, yes, we couldn't hear what he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying that. Oh, wow. That's okay. So yeah.
So
So I was.
the
Uh-huh.
question was, can you tell us about how you started coding?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So well. I started coding. I think back in 2015, right? So I started coding microchips, and we were using the microchips 84A. Yep. So we are using the assembly language to implement some few things, building of alarm systems and some basic systems. So I started with that, and then afterwards, I think 2016, I didn't code much. So until I joined university in 2017, where I started, I was doing IT at first. So I was then introduced to some new programming languages here and there, and I picked up very quickly, So, and then from there, I had to help my friends with their projects here and there, as school assignments and stuff. I was willing to help them. So that was basically my coding, and my journey in the coding industry. So, and then afterwards, I also after my IT, I joined the
Whoa, we've lost Justin.
Coventry University
Damilola.
UK for that was where I started. We had the idea of Octave systems. We were also working for some clients here and there, whilst we were schooling. And so the schooling, the clients project, and that's basically how I started coding. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a very great story. You started early and you started with the hard part as well, coding and assembly. I don't know. Me, I find assembly to be difficult. I don't know for others, but I find it to be difficult. So I'll go with Damilola now. So Damilola, how did your coding journey start?
Okay. I started coding when I was in 2013. In 2013, coding websites with HTML, CSS, and PHP. But as when I entered secondary school, I couldn't actually do that anymore because it was quite. I stopped doing that. So what I then moved on to was there was this during that time, that's 2015, when I was in like my third year of secondary school. There were these, I'm sure you know them, those Nokia Ashas and all that. The applications on them. Sometimes what I then do, the programming I used to do then was modding these applications, so adding new features to the applications and all that. And that was what I was doing throughout secondary school. But my last year, I then picked up on Python, started learning Python to do some small things, some small applications, some small projects. And then and I enrolled with Python until I got to university, and then I learned some other programming languages. So that's it.
Okay, okay. There were some breakages in your mic. I don't know if it's your network or something.
So should I say it
But I
again?
think I
Or
heard I heard I heard some of the stuff you said. I think I heard them. But you can
okay,
restate that as well.
okay. I said I started in 2013 programming websites with HTML, CSS, and PHP. Then when I entered secondary school, my third year of secondary school, I then started modding, adding new features to mobile applications. And then I did that till I was in my final year of secondary school, where I then learned Python programming language, and I made some projects with it, some small applications with it. And I was using Python until until I reached university, and then that's where I am right now. So I learned some other programming languages, and the rest is history. Richfield, I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry, I muted myself. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so you started very early, and
Yes.
that's very inspiring for everyone.
Mhm.
I think that's a more reason why you can even code better than a lot of us here. So I can see the chat bringing up questions. So let's go with this question before we go with Leslie's question. So then the main reason why we are here today is to know why we should learn coding like in 2021. So why should we learn coding in 2021? I don't think you should learn coding in 2021. I think you should learn hacking. So why should I learn coding in 2021? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Um, who should go first?
No, you are available, so you should go first.
Okay, okay. Well, I think we should learn programming in 2021, but um we don't we don't all need to be experts in programming, but you should have some idea of how to program and how it can be beneficial to anything you're doing, because programming is a very versatile tool, and you can use it to benefit you regardless of what you are doing. Regardless of what you're doing, program can help you. And also, with the way the world is moving, and with the way that 2020 has just rolled by, everything was moved online. Had some knowledge of programming, or some knowledge of programming, that transition must would have been much easier for you. So yeah, I think you should learn programming in 2021.
How lucrative is programming? Why should I learn programming? Is it just because I have to solve problems, or Charlie to bring money in some way?
Well, it depends. It depends, because you might have a problem that you want to solve, and programming will help you. But also, programming and software developing is a very lucrative field. So you can also make a lot of money from there if you learn it properly and you're very good. But at the basic level, just learning some aspects of programming will help you in some day-to-day tasks that you are supposed to achieve. Like the other day, someone was telling me that they have to process almost a spreadsheet with almost 200 data lines in it by hand every day, because they are
No,
getting their
that's
data from somewhere. You can just
that's too
write a
big.
simple Exactly. You can just write a simple Python script that will process the files in less than a second, or in a few seconds. You don't have to waste your time doing all that. You get it? So it might not be that you want to make money, but just having some knowledge of programming will definitely help you in some tasks that you yourself will not know that there's even an easier way to do this with programming. I didn't have to stress myself like this. Yeah, so that's I think yes, we should learn programming in 2021.
Great. So I'll go with Leslie's question in the chat. So um, his question was, can we leverage on coding to solve problems in Ghana? If so, what problems should be tackled and in what industries? Can you give some examples? Um, should I come again?
Justin, your
Did you
mic
get
is
that?
muted. Justin, your mic is muted.
So Damilola, you can go with the question as well.
Yeah, so that was a very intelligent
Okay.
question. Uh, I think the guy who asked the question must be very smart. When you talk about we being able to use coding to solve problems in Ghana, I always say, I mean, whenever we are in teams, that Ghana is a developing country, so there are a lot of areas that need to be improved. We still have our old ways of doing things in so many areas uh, in our day-to-day activities. So, relating to what Benson said earlier on, saying that he was discussing with someone and they were sorting out data in a spreadsheet by hand. I think we face similar problem with one of the ministries in Ghana. So they were also having similar problems, whereby they normally go around collecting data from people in the country. And then can you imagine they've employed people who normally sort the data by hand. And so luckily for us, a friend of one of our friends approached me, I think some few months ago, and then he was like, "This is what I do in my at work. So can you do something so that I can just be using it to just do this thing quickly?" So mind you, he was sorting about more than 2,000 data. Like he has to go through them and check them and sort them a day. So what we did was, Benson and I, we sat down and then we wrote a script for them. So it was just a small desktop application, and the application was able to sort what they were using a whole day. Probably sometimes they are not even able to sort the data in one day. So where they were using 1 or 2 days to solve, our script was just able to solve it for them in less than 5 seconds. I was even 3 seconds, I think. So and that alone, you know, would give them a lot of will save them a lot of time, and it will also make the work, more efficient. So yes, so Ghana, we need coding, we need coders, because there are a lot of sectors that we can still use coding to improve in the country.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Benson, can you tell us how maybe you went about the project? I think you were part as well in the programming. So how did you go about it? Can you tell us a bit of that? Justin, can you go for that?
Okay, so it was pretty simple. Like that was, in fact, that was one of the simplest thing that we have ever written in uh in our coding, journey. I
Oh,
wasn't I wasn't anything big, but it was just that the problem was big. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, what we did was, the line of code that we wrote was not bulky. I think less than 500 lines of code. So all we did was to come up with an algorithm that can actually sort the data. So we approached them, they explained their problem to us. So we were like, okay, this thing can be solved by writing the code to just process the sorting. So we just use a sorting algorithm to just sort through the spreadsheet. So we basically sort and compare the data that, they want to be compared. So we just did that for them, and very quickly, and then it solved the problem. You know, it wasn't anything difficult. You see, when it comes to coding, I think when you look at it in a holistic manner, the problem seems complex, but then once you try to break it down into smaller portion, you notice that it can be easily tackled and solved.
Okay, so I
Richfield,
can
please.
hear a lot of wind from your end, Justin.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Richfield.
because I'm in the aeroplane. That's why. So
Richfield, I didn't hear your question. Please, I had to go and get something. Question you
Okay,
asked.
so Leslie asked in the chat that can we leverage on coding to solve problems in Ghana? And you answered that already. So I was like, how did you go about the project of solving the problem in the ministry whereby they had to do all those filling of the spreadsheets by hand? So I would like you to go over how the project was done.
Actually, how it was is that there were two spreadsheets, right? And you had to check if um someone in the first spreadsheet existed in the second spreadsheet, right? And mark if that person actually existed in the first spreadsheet. So what we had to do first is ingest the two spreadsheets at once. So we take the first spreadsheet, get all the users there, get to put them in a sort of store them somewhere, and then we search for them in the second spreadsheet. And then we also threw in we also put it made it multi-threaded so that whilst we're searching for one user, we can be searching for multiple users at a time, so it's much faster. Yeah, that's basically it.
That's a lot of terms over there. I don't think the beginners over here will understand whatever I said right now. I'm not sure they will understand what you just said. So my next question is, how long do you think it will
Ratio,
take a
ratio.
beginner? Yes.
I would like to add a bit more to what to your to the question before we move on.
All right.
Um,
All right.
you know, our work efficiency in Ghana can be greatly improved. You know, if we can have, if we can leverage on coding to solve a lot of problems, because even though nowadays you could see that some of the companies are now, you know, making use of tech or tech aided solutions to improve their businesses, you could see that there are a lot of sectors that need to be improved again, you know, because we still about 70% of businesses are still using the old ways of doing things, which is greatly affecting, you know, our day to our day-to-day activities. So I believe that we can leverage on new systems and coding per se, you know, to improve all those sectors. I think I think last year what happened, a friend of mine approached me with an idea, and then we are still working on that. Now what happens was, you know, when national service personnel normally start their national service, some of them who join companies that they normally have buses, right? So they they normally wait for the company bus, right, to join the bus before they go to work. Now, what happened was, you know, sometimes when the bus is, the person will come to the bus stop and be waiting for the company bus. So when the bus is full, he will not be alerted. So he'll wait for the bus to come. So the bus will arrive at his level, and then before he will notice that, oh, this bus is full. So the bus will pass him by, and he now has to look for a car and take a car and go to work. But then, had he known in advance that, oh, this bus is full, he wouldn't have waited. He could have maybe taken the lead. You see, so what we are working on is we just have a mobile app that actually notifies the people who take the bus. So if the bus is full, you could see that the bus is full. And if the bus has, you could actually track the bus and see the level, the I mean the you could see the position of the bus in real time, so that you get prepared, because sometimes you could see that the bus has arrived at the bus stop but someone is still delaying, the person has not gotten to the bus stop yet. Or sometimes you can come to the bus stop and be waiting for the car will take about 30 minutes to get to the bus stop, and all those people are arriving at work late. Now imagine if there could be a system that can solve that problem, which means that people will be arriving at work late, sorry, early, and they can start working too early, which will improve the work efficiency a lot. You see, those are examples of few things that I can list for you right now. But then if you are to go deep, you could see that there are a lot of things that coding can improve in this country. I mean, that's why we are a developing country, you know, we are still developing, you know.
Great, 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 great. And that project will be a very. Are you done with that project, or you're about to do it?
We are still working on it. We are still working on it. You know.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so my next question is, how long does it take to learn coding? Um, so how would you say that to maybe a beginner trying to learn coding? How long does it take to learn coding? You know, learning never stops, but an average time, like how long does it take to learn maybe the basics, or how long can it take you to build an
Well, well,
application?
well. I would to just give a quick answer to the question. I would say that it takes less than a university degree. The time that it needs to get a university degree to learn coding. If you are serious about learning coding, you don't need 4 years. You see, you need probably less than 4 years to learn coding. I mean that's what I can tell you right now.
I'd say to learn coding and to become productive in it. 6 months to be 6 months, honestly, but to be adept, to be able to take on some, small to medium sized projects, 1.5, maybe 1.5 years probably.
Okay, okay, okay. 6 months is it's really cool. I think
Mm-hmm.
I used less than that. You know, when you don't have anything doing at home and maybe
Yes.
um, there's nothing. There's all you have is your computer, and then you would even use less than 6 months to learn that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But maybe if you're
Mm-hmm.
a family man or you go for work every day, even if you go for work every day, we have 24 hours in a day, so
If you
you can
just
make good
devote
use
one
of that.
1 hour, maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes, 6 months, you should be
Ah, no,
very very
that's true.
competent in it. Very competent in it.
Coding is one of the field that does not, it doesn't deceive. You know, it tells you whether you are serious or not. If you are
Mm-hmm.
serious, you will be good at it. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
don't need someone to be watching over you to do it. You see, if you are serious, you'll be good. If you are not serious, I mean, you can't be good.
And it's not like a profession like maybe doctor or engineer or something where there's a proven exam to know whether actually you're an actual good doctor or whether you're an actual good engineer. The only time you know when you're a good programmer is when you're actually programming, when you're actually doing the thing. No one is going to sit you down and ask you questions about it. So to actually become a very good programmer, you actually have this desire to learn it on your own, to practice and do all everything else.
Okay, so I was just looking at the chat and some people are bringing some few questions, interesting questions. Leslie and S Class Weep. I don't know who that is. Um, Leslie is bringing a lot of questions. So let's take this one from Leslie. Um, do we feel that the university providing, do we feel that the university, how am I going to read this? Hey, do we feel that do we feel that the university we are attending is providing adequate knowledge on programming to foster the drive among students in the tech field?
Hmm.
So is the coding community active in Ghana? I think there are communities
Yes.
out there, just that
Mhm.
there are communities out there for hacking. When I didn't know about Invited Global, I never knew there was an active community out there. I was like, oh, Charlie Ghana, there are no hackers. Nothing like you understand. So I think you would have to reach out to people, like people that are good, and then ask them on maybe the communities they learn from and all that, because I think there are a lot of communities out there. And for the first part of the question, which is, do we think the universities we are attending are adding adequate knowledge to foster our programming skills or anything? I think Justin can go with that, or Mr. Damilola.
Um, well, the thing is, you can only speak from the perspective of the university you're currently attending, because everybody is only going to attend one university, hopefully, unless you want to do your
That is
master's.
true.
Yeah, so you can only speak from the university you're currently attending. So you can't actually say if all universities um, are providing adequate programming knowledge for upcoming students. But from my perspective, my school, I'd say more can be done. More can be definitely be done. But yes, more can definitely be done to help us, to help us better programmers, the students. I mean, Justin, what's your take on it?
Yeah, so I mean, I will go with what Benson said earlier on. You you can only speak from your experience in your university, because I'm not in KN University, so I don't know how. how active students are in coding over there. So I can only talk about the university I attend, and well, uh, well, see, the point is, I mean, to be just to be honest, we still have to improve a lot of things, when it comes to the way we normally teach students in Ghana, Um, talking about my experience, initially I was in DTUC, right? And then I personally wanted something more serious, something. So I wanted some kind of more active and more interactive, more practical way of doing things. And I didn't that, I didn't get what I was expecting. And that was one of the reasons why, after my diploma, I actually left DTUC to Coventry University, UK, hoping that I would get something better over there. So I think we have a long way to go, and we have to start taking the tech sector seriously, and the way we also teach tech things in Ghana, you know, especially in my university, because I always say that one Udemy course is worth 4 years at university. I mean, my experience, Udemy courses are not.
Bro, don't try and bring your school down. Oh, Charlie.
No, no, I'm just Richfield, you see, our problem is we don't want to be saying things the way they are. I mean, that's how it is. If it is good, we'll talk about it. If it is
Exactly,
bad, we'll talk
exactly.
about it. I mean, that's how it
Yeah.
is. What do you want me to tell you?
Exactly, exactly, bro. I just remembered when we took that introduction to computer networks and computer security. You know, Mr. Chris started a good thing. He was he actually made a good path for everyone who was in that class to be able to learn something from hacking. But if it were to be more practical, let's say after he talked about spywares and botnets, if you could really show us how they worked, I think a lot of people would have understood much more better. And then he did a great job about risk analysis. And he's a forensics fan, so he was talking more from his experience, and that was good. But the schools can do better. After he left, oh Charlie, then everything.
Yes, well, you see, when it comes to coding, I mean, there are a lot of good people out there, seriously speaking, and when it comes to universities, you see, one of the things that normally help university to go forward is when lecturers actually form groups of students, a research group, and they take on a project, and then they are guided by the lecturer, and then they are able to make some small projects. That's what university is for. I mean, Dr. Kester always talks about that. You know, being a lecturer is not just about coming to class to teach. You have to also spend to work on some small projects. I mean, when you take the tech universities in Ghana, I mean, most of them they are using WordPress to manage. I mean, as their official website. I mean, they are tech universities. There are universities who are teaching students how to build website, and they are using templates. I mean, at the first place, that one alone, I mean, it says something. It doesn't say everything, but at least it says something. So we still have a long way to go. And I think if universities start working on gathering students and help them to work on some small projects and come forth with innovative, you know, ideas, and then and then bring forth innovative apps. I think that will motivate those who also want to start the journey to also develop an enthusiasm for the field. You know,
that is very true. I can see someone is saying that he can't access the link and all that. Is that true from anyone's end chat? So chat, if you are watching this and then you just heard me, can you just confirm that for me?
I think it's fine.
Hello, Justin. For the moment, you can mute your mic. Your mic. Sorry. Okay, so someone said they heard me and they can see everything. So we are continuing with the next question. There are a lot of questions in the chat. So I'll take the next one from the chat. They said, okay, let me see who actually said that. So S Class Weeb was like, what programming languages do you recommend people to try learning in 2021?
I'd say people should try learning as a beginner. Should try learning either Python or JavaScript. Yeah, either Python or JavaScript. The two my two recommended languages.
Okay. So the chat just confirmed we won the CTF yesterday. Charlie. You gotta make happy. So there was a CTF yesterday about it was about the Ghana National Cybersecurity CTF. This I don't know how I explain CTFs right now, but I think I'll do that in another video. So my
That's
next
awesome.
question is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you guys, you're not happy for me. Charlie,
So,
let's continue.
oh, we are happy for you. That's
We're
fine.
happy for you. We're happy.
Someone
So
is asking
someone is
why
asking,
why Python and why JS. Um,
I say Python or JS because first of all, their syntax. So how the programs in Python or JavaScript look is very simple to understand. That's the first reason, especially for Python. And the second reason is that there are a lot of resources for learning these two languages because they are very popular. So you will not have issue finding resources to learn them. And also, there's a very big community behind them. And with big community comes a lot of tools. So if you learn either of them, you are setting yourself up to learn a tool that will be very useful for you. And depending on which path you take, very lucrative in terms of monetary aspects.
so I think Leslie is very active in the chat. So he's like, I feel coding is in the university, I'm more focused on the theoretical aspect instead of the practical aspect. So if we can create programming communities that would build projects, it would really help. I think Benson can start that as well. You can start a
Mm,
community.
yes,
Yeah.
that's a good observation. Yes, I also
Because
I
or
also
if
believe
if
that.
you have any that you can refer in the chat, that would be very great.
Um, a lot of coding communities. I don't really have any in mind because I'm not really part of any at the moment. But you can easily find some. So I'll get someone and I'll put the links in the chat by the end of the stream.
Okay. Great. So someone is asking why why JavaScript or Python for
Yeah,
a
I already
beginner
answered
to
that.
learn program.
Did
Okay,
you?
sure.
Yeah. Mm.
Can you lay
Say it
more
again.
emphasis on that? Can you lay more
Yeah.
emphasis on that?
Yes, I said either Python or JavaScript because first of all, the syntax, so how the code is written and how it looks is very easy for a beginner to understand, especially for Python. You know, you as a cybersecurity guy, you know how easy it is to understand Python code. The second thing is the resources, so tutorials, mini projects, courses, all those things are easy, very easy to find for Python and JavaScript because they're very popular, and with that popularity comes a very large community. So in case you need someone like some one-to-one help, you can it's more easy to find someone that will help you with these two languages, and they also have a lot of tools available for them. So they also have a lot of tools available for them. So if you're able to learn either Python or JavaScript very well, you're setting yourself up for to learning a very versatile tool. And also, it's Python and JavaScript are also very sought after in job market. So you can also get a good work if you learn either of them.
Yeah, I think that's very true because with Python you can even easily apply it in other fields of IT, in terms of
Exactly.
hacking, in terms of artificial
Where
intelligence, data science, almost
data
everywhere.
science, web development. Yeah. The same goes for
Yes,
JavaScript as well.
yes, great, great, great. Justin, we can't
I
hear
think
you.
yeah,
Okay,
I
okay,
think
okay.
starting out with Python is very good because even though Python is somehow easier to start with, if you start with the easy one, you can still use Python for to develop more serious stuff. So yeah, I mean, data
Mm.
scientists use Python, hackers use Python, um, system engineers use Python and stuff.
Wow, that's great. That is very true as well. So I think I'll take the next question from my questions before I'll continue with the chat. So, as a software engineer, what do you think about the industry in terms of payments? How are works being paid for? You know, in Ghana, when someone brings up projects, they will be like, Charlie, 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 Tisu, Tisu, Charlie. You have to bring the money down. When you say, oh, this project is 10,000 Ghana cedis, they'll be like, oh, boss, let me give you 4,000 Ghana cedis. But the time and then the resources you are going to use are massive. Like they want a well built application, like a secured application, and then they want to give you just some tricky money in. So how do you go about all of that?
Um, I
Oh
think
well,
okay. Go ahead.
yeah, Benson, go ahead, go ahead.
No, Justin, go ahead, John. Go ahead. I'll answer the
Well,
few questions.
I think in Octave DBL systems, I think we have a very good analyst guy, then we have a very good marketing guy too, who take care of all those things. I think when we are approaching clients, and that's how we do it. When we are approaching clients, yes, the clients the only thing the client knows is that they want the software and they need the software, right? So it's like you still have to convince the client as to why he needs the software, right? And so the client that because the client does not see, even though he needs the software, but it's like um he does not see the importance of the software also. I don't even know how to put it. So they'll just give you some small amounts at first. But then how we normally approach that is we normally charge the client or approach the client based on the value that we are adding to the person's business. So it could be that we are giving you a very small application, but we don't see it that way. We see it as the value that application is going to add to your business. And then from there, we charge you.
Okay, that is great. So I think people in the chat will also learn about this, Charlie. No more tisu tisu. When they call a price, pay
Yeah,
for the price.
because the point is that we made examples earlier on. You are spending to finish something, and we are finished. They are finishing that thing for you in a couple of seconds, right? So which means that in about in just a day, what you used to do in a week, you can just finish that in just a day. Or maybe what you normally use 3 to do, you can finish that in just a day. Which means that your business operation is going to speed up, and which means that you can have more clients, right? Have more clients that you can work with, and which means that more money is going to come to your company. You see, your company based on that small software, why won't you be able to pay for it? You see, and that's how we normally convince clients. And I think people normally talk about, people are not willing, clients are not willing to pay for something and stuff. But then I always say, if you are convinced the client to see things from that perspective, right? The client will be willing to pay, you know, a reasonable amount for the application you are developing person.
Okay, can I just mention something? Leslie
Yeah, yeah,
just
Wesley.
said
Yeah, yeah, you can go
the
ahead.
the reason why they do that is because software is intangible. And yes, while that is true, it's people only perceive the software you're bringing to them the way you present it.
You sell
So
it to
if you
them.
just go
Very good.
Yeah, so if you just go to them and you tell them, they ask you, okay, what price? And you tell them, okay, the price is 2,500. You're setting yourself up for the price to be haggled. So the person will say, oh, 2,500, what about 2,000? But if you bring a document to them and tell them, okay, this is what this part costs this much, this one costs this much, this one costs this much. When they see everything in a physical form and they see what each of the components in the software is and how it affects the price, then it's much more difficult for them to argue for you to break down the price, because there's something there that they can hold that um shows what shows the price breakdown. So I think in order to avoid people trying to reduce or trying to bargain price with you, you should also present your software in a professional manner. So try and create a price document that shows, okay, maybe you're creating a website. Okay, the cost of the servers costs this much, the creating the UI costs this much, doing this costs this much, and then my workmanship, so how much my man hours, so how much I'm charging for actually working on the project costs this much. Then they say, okay, this obviously the price of the web servers cannot be brought down. Okay, fine. The price of doing the UI cannot be brought down. Okay, fine. Okay, can you? Then they can now state, okay, what part can you give them a discount on, right? But if you just tell them, okay, the price of everything is 2,500, they don't know what that 2,500 is doing. Their immediate thought is that everything is going to you, right? So yes, you should try and be more professional when you are bidding and when you are giving the prices to clients. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I think that's a very good point as well.
Yes, exactly, exactly, exactly. There are a lot of questions coming again. We've passed almost 1 hour. So,
Oh wow.
yes, I think I'll ask some few questions and then we'll just wrap up. So, the next question from the chat, um, what is your take on the cost of data that needs to be invested in learning coding? From my experience, it's not cheap and requires some internet connectivity. I don't think that is very expensive. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes, I don't
Like,
know. People make a big deal out of e-learning programming. Bro, you just need to download your interpreters, your compilers, all that shit, and that's all. You can
and
just watch.
you should not see it as a cost. You should see it as an investment in yourself, right? You are investing, that money into buying data to get some courses, to get uh, some tools, whatever. That if you are serious with it, in a few months time or in a year's time, you are able to get project that will get you more multiples of that money you spent for buying that data or anything. So don't see it as a cost. You should see it as an investment. And if you are serious about programming, that will make it that will make it easier to survive.
Okay, Justin, I'm having a lot of feedback from you. I don't know. Let me give you a minute to just get your network better, and then you get back to Justin.
Yeah, I'm okay. My network is okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
okay,
hear
that
you.
is perfect.
Mm.
Chad, that is Ghana for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, we are in Ghana, so the network is really bad at some places. My next question from the chat is, what do you think of the utilization of IT talents in the current job market in Ghana?
Mm,
Please come again.
What do you think of the utilization of IT talents in the current job market in Ghana?
Mm.
well, uh, I think for the most, oh, Richard, were you saying something?
I think I was asking, how do you think we can utilize talents in the job market?
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Big J's asked, what do I think of it currently? I think, what do we think of it currently? Sorry. I think, right now, although there's a lot of talent, right? I don't think because of the question Leslie asked. I think it was Leslie that asked before. Um, that what do we think of utilization of IT in Ghana? Because there is not the utilization of IT in Ghana is not really at the point where we'd all want it to be. The works that software developers right now are working on, um, or the works that software developers right now are working on is not too difficult. It's not too challenging, right? So the talents are not really being utilized to the maximum. To the maximum. So I think as Ghana starts to become more technologically advanced and more complex software needs to be developed, right? Obviously the people as a general software developers as a general will have to rise to the occasion, because you not want it that when the complex projects are now coming, then the employers in Ghana will start hiring people from outside to work on it because the local talents are not up to the task, right? You don't want that. So I think as Ghana starts to become technologically advanced, the we as software developers, although our talents are not being utilized to the max now, in the future we would have to learn more and improve our skills to make sure that we always stay relevant, not only in the Ghana but on a on the global market. Yes.
So I think I'll take the last question from the chat. Then I'll continue with mine. So, does it really pay to be a programmer in Ghana? For me, I'll say yes, and
Mm.
then I would say no if you're not good. If you're not good, Charlie, just
Ah,
forget. Go
if
and sleep
if if you're
somewhere.
not good in anything, they will not pay you. Not only programming. If you're not good in anything,
Uh, you would have to be really good because we have top notch, Charlie, people that are learning every day. So if you're not good with programming, you can't solve problems. You can't solve any problem. Maybe unless you want to just be creating apps for yourself, maybe your to-do list app and just for just for yourself.
to do stuff.
Okay, for yourself, Charlie.
Uh,
But it really pays. It really pays, guys. There are a lot of freelance jobs as well.
Very good. Very You see, to that question, I would say yes. It pays to be a programmer in Ghana. You have the entrepreneurial mindset. If you don't wait for someone to give you the job, and that's where you see that, oh, it don't pay to be a programmer. But then if you are able to put yourself out there, I mean, once you're a programmer in Ghana, right? just sit back and relax. There are a lot of problems that you solve, and there are a lot of problems that your skills can solve. So don't just sit back and relax. It pays to be a programmer in Ghana. If only you can just get up and decide use your skills to solve problems out there. I think this year what we did was we roll out a school management system for some schools. I mean around. So that one schools were using. I mean we are software engineers, right? And then we were there. We didn't have a job, right? We are still schooling too. We just company. So the problem was there, and the skills were here. We were sitting back and relax. I mean, as of last year, right? So, but then only this year we decided that we can use our skill to do something that can bring us money, and we did it, and it's bringing us money. So I think I have, in a way, answered that question to the person. If the person is to go back and sit back and see what can I use my skills to solve, and then once you find an answer to that one and decide to take action, you see that there's money involved. There's money inside.
I think there's a lot of money in the hacking sector as well.
Exactly.
Um, we we break into systems that software engineers create and all of that. But I think software development actually brings a lot of money because sometimes when I hear about the charges Damilola and Justin raise up in building just some common software, I'd be like, whoa, bro, Charlie, for joining your community, then they chop the money. So, okay, so I think that's the last question in the chat. So, I'll continue with my questions. I think I'll just keep a lot of the questions. And so, how do you go about projects? How do you go about projects? How do you go about coding a project? Let me put it that way.
Um.
I think Justin can answer that. I said Justin. Damilola can answer that for us.
Okay. And as I was saying before, we should all try to be more professional in software development. The more professional you are, the more seriously people take you. So I think when I'm developing a project for someone, the first thing to do is to avoid any future. I said I wanted this and you didn't add it. Oh, I thought you meant this. No, I said I wanted this and you didn't add it. To avoid any of that, you just sit down with the person for a few hours, get your notepad and your pen, and tell the person to explain to you in very high detail what do they expect the application to do and what do they expect the application to not do. You write all of those things down. That's called your requirements, right? Once you write all of those things down, you read it out to the person again that this is what you said. This is what you said you wanted. Once the person confirms everything is okay, okay, you settle. You settle down and say, okay, fine. Next thing you do is you then come up with how much you think everything should cost. You know, how much will this cost, how much will that cost, and then send the person an estimate of how much everything should cost before you start programming. Once they agree on it, once they agree on it, then you can start working on it. You can start working on the project. And as you're working on the project, always strive to send the person, you know, if you have completed one section, send the person a demo and say, okay, this is what the application looks like right now. What do you think about it? Maybe they might not want to change the requirements per se, but maybe they don't like the way a certain thing looks and they want to change it. Okay, fine. You change it, then you get it over with, right? And also you should try to use um, task management software like Trello, so that the the customer or whoever you're working or you're building an application for will know what stage of development you're in, what you're currently working on, what is done in the application, so that they're always kept in the loop, so they always know what is going on. Right? It's not just that you go and stay in a dark cave somewhere, work some dark magic, and at the end of 3 months, you present an application to the person and say, "Yes, this is done." No. You can't do that. If you do that, even if the application is perfect, but the very fact that the user has never seen it before, right? They'll act as if it's strange. I don't like the way this thing is feeling, this and that. But as they are, if you keep them in the loop as to what is going on constantly, right? Um they can never say I didn't see when you did this part, because you've always been showing them. So if they say that you can't see where they are when I did this part, and the application has finished, then you say, oh, well, I was showing to you every week, so any changes right now is, extra money. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So yes, you should strive to be more professional. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's basically it. And
Sure,
also, don't
exactly,
forget,
exactly.
sorry. And last thing, don't forget to test your applications, please, boys. Test and write comments. It's very, it's very crucial. Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
sure, sure, sure. Do security test as well. Perform
Yes,
penetration test on your
I can call
applications
you.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so Richfield, I think that was
Uh,
Justin is having a very bad network.
just what did you say?
Damilola,
He was talking and he just kept quiet.
okay, we can continue. So who is your most preferred YouTuber in the tech field?
Mm, for me, I'd say Net Ninja on YouTube. He really helped me to learn a lot of things I was having issues with.
I think Justin likes Traversing
Travis,
Media a lot.
yeah.
For me, it's Clever Programmer, Corey MS,
Yeah, go on.
because I'm more of a Python guy. So Corey
Uh,
MS. I'm
and
forgetting the
also
last person.
Free Code Camp is a channel every developer should be subscribed to. Free Code Camp.
Exactly, Free Code Camp. It has everything over there.
He has
You want to be a
everything.
developer or a hacker?
Developer, hacker, data analyst, cloud engineer, anything. They have all the tutorials there for you.
Okay, so what is your most preferred operating system? What's your
Um,
preferred operating system? So let me
Linux,
just skip it short. Do you like Windows, or do you normally use Windows or Linux?
Linux.
well, I would choose Windows, you know.
I know you always choose Windows.
I have I have I have my reasons. I told you, you
you,
know.
you, you don't you, you don't like the you don't like the command line and all that.
No,
Yeah.
no. I told you last time. It's not because I don't like the command line. I told you most of the time I'm often really busy. So, and I've been coding too. So basically, when I come back home and then I take my laptop and I want to code, I want to quickly go to where the things are and then go and then code and then move on. So so the GUI basically make things easier for me. I can just click on what I want, do my things, and quickly then I'm done. I wrap up, then I move on. You know. So that is not because I cannot use the Linux. I can perfectly use it,
Justin,
but
your network is very bad.
I
So I think we
prefer
heard what you said.
I prefer the
I
Linux.
can hear him.
I think I
Which feed is your network?
Damilola, can you hear him?
I can hear both of you.
Okay. I
I
think
think
we
you
heard
cannot,
about
Miss
that.
Peter, I think you cannot hear us because I can hear you too.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, guys. Your last words to freshmen who want to also learn coding, people that are really passionate about coding, but they don't know where to start from. What would you like to tell them?
Mm, I say go for it. Start today. There's no time as perfect as the present. So start right now, and if you're dedicated, in a short while, a relatively short while, you'll be good at it, or even greater. You'll be great at it, sir.
Okay, so um,
Well,
as
for
Benson
me,
said, most of the time you just okay. Justin, do you have something?
you can go ahead.
Okay, I think Justin, I would like to take your last words and
Okay, sure.
we'll end the stream
Yeah,
here.
may I come across the time and space that separate us from our viewers and say that at least this they are attending this meeting is a first step. You know, it's fantastic. Coding is beautiful. You can code from anywhere, even on your bed. You can still code. And the beautiful thing is that you can be working on serious project on your bed. Can you imagine? It gives you that freedom. you know. So that's how fantastic coding is. Unlike if you're a doctor, you need to be there with all your equipment and stuff. You can code from anywhere. So it gives you that freedom. So why wouldn't you code and start today, and start small?
Exactly. So the final words from Justin and Damilola, they said, start today. Just start right now, right now. Just go to YouTube. Just go and search for videos on coding. I think Damilola also has a YouTube channel. I would provide a link to his channel as well. He started his channel when he was 9 years old, Charlie. Can you imagine? With his tiny voice and
How active is the channel?
Bro is dead.
bro, yeah, he's dead.
Collect.
So rusty.
Okay, okay. Mm,
Okay, so start today, guys. If you want to be a programmer, it's not going to be easy. You would have to learn constantly because most of the time you find yourself sitting in front of your computer always. As a hacker as well, you most of the time see yourself sitting behind your computer, reading code, writing code, solving problems, studying code, commenting codes, whatever have you, fixing bugs, finding new ways to add to your knowledge, reading code from online and all that. So on the next interview, I have Mr. Eric Sowabaja from GCB. He is the SOC lead penetration tester at TCB. So on 26th, we have Mr. Eric Sowabaja, my mentor, Mihak. I think a lot of people know him and he's one famous hacker in Ghana. So I'll be having him. I would like you guys to share this live after we are done, and I'll bring out a thumbnail or a poster with Mr. Eric on it. And then I think we would have a better video and a better sound on the next stream. The week has been so tired, I couldn't put up a lot in having this video, this live stream. Okay, thank you very much. Do well to subscribe again. Subscribe, Charlie. If you can't subscribe, let's say sharp, then you go motivate me, make I do more videos. Okay, so until the next video, stay awesome. Until the next video, until the next tutorial, until the next stream, stay awesome. Peace. 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 Okay.